Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Wednesday, January 4th. And certainly the big story is going to be the cold air coming in over the next 4 days with plenty of snow showers. And it's going to be quite windy today. So once you get over towards 131, where there are winter weather advisories, and up into northwest lower Michigan where there are winter storm warnings, it's going to be very dangerous driving out there the next couple of days, especially I think as we get into the afternoon and into the overnight hours tonight, because there'll be plenty of wind, low visibilities with blowing and drifting snow. Once you get further inland, I think you'll see pockets of some heavy snow showers, especially once you get up towards Houghton Lake to the north on I-75. But again, not as bad as if you were traveling up 131, but still do take caution if you're going to be on the roadways, especially across western and northern lower Michigan. And then we're going to watch a system here for early next week, probably around the Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. And that looks like a warm air advection type system with warm air coming into the cold air. This system now is trending more to the northwest, but it doesn't look as strong as the last system. So I think what it'll do is have plenty of shallow cold air available to work with. And again, I think most of the precipitation will be out ahead of the system, and that could bring one of those 1 to 3, 2 to 4, maybe 3 to 5 inch type snows to parts of the MAC area. Again, that looks like the best time will be sometime during the day on Tuesday or Tuesday night, possibly into Wednesday. Plenty of time to look at that system, however. You can see the normal high is 29 for the day, the normal low is 14, and 35 years ago we had a record low of 16 below zero, again back in 1981, and tomorrow would be another record. I think we were like 15 below zero for tomorrow, so a very chilly couple of days back in 1981. If we look at conditions around the area yesterday, you can see temperatures mainly in the 30s, but before the cold air poured in, temperatures made it up to 44 degrees at Jasper, 43 at Blissfield, and London picked up about 4/10 of an inch of precipitation as that precipitation moved out of the area across much of the area by midday. And you can see the coldest spot was 30 degrees just before midnight at Newaygo. If we look at conditions across the lower 48 as far as highs and lows, the warmest temperature was 88 degrees at McAllen, Texas, and at Marathon in Stuart, Florida. The cold spot, 28 below zero at Wisdom, Montana. And if you look at conditions out around the area this morning, you can see temperatures much colder today. We got temperatures in the upper teens across central Michigan, mid to upper 20s across the eastern part, and down to 13.9 degrees over there in Newaygo, where they'll see plenty of snow here over the next several days. If we look at the radar out there this morning, you can see the lake effect snow bands that are in place across northern lower Michigan and across southwest lower Michigan. And again, two areas that we're going to watch. We got that pretty good setup, the widest part of the lake, a little bit of a northwest, but the westerly trajectory of the winds gives a pretty good setup along that I-94 area, possibly all the way up to about the Lansing area. So again, in this area, I think we could see a little more enhanced snowfall, maybe 1 to 3 inches over the eastern portions of the area, and again, quite a bit more as we go towards the lake shore. And then of course we got the preconditioned Lake Superior wind flow coming off into the upper peninsula and then crosses Lake Michigan and gives the northwestern areas a pretty good snowfall amounts in these lake effect setups. And again, I think that's the area that's going to see the heaviest snow. They could see well over a foot of snow over the next 4 days, and I think much of the Lake Michigan shoreline also will pick up about 6 to 10 inches of snow here over the next 4 days. And if we look at the weather map this morning, the low pressure system off to our east, the cold front well off to the east, and cold air now flooding into the Great Lakes. And again, that's what will kick off the lake effect snows. And if we look at the weather map for tomorrow morning, again, mainly lake effect snows, but they'll let up just a little bit, but then we'll see a more reinforcement of some of those lake effect snows once we get into Friday as another upper wave moves through the Great Lakes. And then we got a developing storm that'll move and stay across the southern part of the U.S., but that'll bring some snow across areas anywhere from Tennessee into the Carolinas and up to Virginia, and maybe even some snow across Boston and New York, where they could see some measurable snowfall as well. And if we look at how much precipitation we could expect over the next 7 days, not a lot, maybe about 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch across the eastern areas. And of course, you can see where the snowfall rates are going to be about 15 to 20 to 1 ratio, about 9/10 of an inch, 8/10 of an inch up in there. But again, at 15 to 20 snowfall ratios, liquid to snow, you're going to see a good 1.5 feet, I think, in some areas, 1 to 1.5 feet. And then, of course, very heavy snow across portions of the UP as well, where they have lake effect warnings and advisories there. As far as what the GFS shows for snow for next Tuesday and Wednesday, combination of that warm air overriding the front could give much of the area, again, some accumulations of snow. The European does not show this, so again, it's just something to take with a grain of salt. As we get in deep into the weekend and we still see something like this, then the confidence levels will rise. But we want to see some agreement between the Canadian and the European with our model as well. And if we look at the day 7 from yesterday, you can see the storm system we thought would maybe drop a little farther to the southeast and then kick up towards the Great Lakes. This morning's map for the same period now shows a low quite a bit farther north. And again, it'll move right towards the UP. But again, I think most of the snow will be with the warm air advection overriding that shallow cold air. So I think there is a good chance we could see at least some accumulating snow as we get in towards the next Tuesday time frame. And looking at weather watch this morning, you see a number of winter weather advisories across much of the Great Lakes, winter storm warnings, lake effect advisories and warnings across the UP, near the lakes, downwind of Lake Erie in Ontario, and then very cold air with wind chill advisory and wind chill warnings off into portions of Minnesota back into the Dakotas. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.